Well, my difficulty with any of that, and we'll get back to that in a moment, I just want to tell you the Cat Sports Night of Champions.
Livingstone Bramble has brought more than his share of color to his matchup with Ray Boom Boom Mancini. He's a unique individual, both inside and outside the ring. As a brawler, there are few lightweights as tenacious as Bramble, as he showed here in a win over Teddy Hatfield. For Livingstone, threats of rough tactics in the ring are more than just rhetoric.
I go in the ring and I do anything to win. If I might have to bite his ear, I bite his ear. You know, this ain't no talk, this ain't no joke, this is for real. If I have to bite him on his ear, I bite him and I shake him like my dog would. You know, I ain't there to win. If it means southpaw, lefty, it means hit him in the head, butt him, elbow, whatever it takes, I ain't there to win. That's why I bring in everybody with me. The voodoo, me, my roots, everything come in.
Put it out, put it out. But boxing is a sport, not an alley brawl. And some boxing experts feel Mancini has more skills. Bramble disagrees. Keep pushing, come on.
I had to make my punch as sharp as I can, you know. I think I'm a better, shorter puncher than he is. Because he's a little man to me, you know. He got a 65-inch reach to my 74. So I got him 2 inches in reach, you know. So I ain't really worrying about, you know, the inside this and inside that. Honestly, I got my defense. That's all I'm worrying about. And I think right now I'm one of the best defensive fighters around.
That's him. Bramble's confidence has bordered on arrogance, and he says it's because he wants the title more than Mancini.
Why? Because I'm strong. Nobody never got to me. Nobody never knocked me down. Nobody never beat me up, you know. Mancini been beat up from the day he was born, you know. His belly is full. He got a full belly. I'm hungry, and a hungry man is a dangerous man. Boxing has taken Ray Boom Boom Mancini literally around the world. And to get ready for #1 rated contender Livingstone Bramble, the WBA lightweight champion is here, 1,600 feet above sea level in Lake Tahoe. At only 23, Mancini has earned the money and trappings of a superstar. A book and movie on his life are planned, and there's even a line of toys named after him. But with all that, he's still a tireless worker in the gym, and the will to win remains strong.
I'm not going to give this title up. I'm going to be fighting, giving every ounce of strength I can, and that's the key. I think that's what makes a champion. It's hard. You can see that there's so many guys with the God-given talent out there that are fighting for nothing and that will never be champion because they don't have that heart, that special quality. And the Lord's blessed me with it, and I think that's what makes why I'm still champion, why I have overcome a lot of my fights.
Mancini won the title from Art Frias in May of 1982 with an incredible first-round knockout. He won it for his father, Lenny, once a top lightweight whose title chances ended with a World War II injury. This was a sweet moment for the Mancini. The storyline continued when Ray came home to Youngstown, Ohio for his first defense against ex-champ Ernesto España. He won by a TKO in the 6th. When he used a big left hook to beat Orlando Romero in Madison Square Garden, it came in the exact same ring his father had fought in years earlier. And now, in Buffalo, more special meaning.
I said, you know, something at the press conference that was very out of characteristic for me. I didn't mean it as trying to be cocky, it was just, but I felt this. I told Bramble there was no way you were going to beat me in Buffalo. And it was just something that came out because I felt that strong about it. With all my friends out there and my relatives looking at the press conference, I felt this great strength in me, and I told them that, and I sincerely mean that.
For Mancini, there seems to be few easy fights, and Bramble could be his toughest challenger. Yet Ray says he's prepared for total warfare.
If you can come out there and box me, I'll cut him in half in about a round and a half. I'll cut him right down. Also, he has a tendency not to listen to his corner. I have a feeling they're going to tell him to move a lot, move, because they know I'm going to be ripping them shots on him, and it's going to take its toll on him. But he's going to have that macho thing about him. He's going to want to stand there and trade with me and show he can take it or whatever, but he can only take it for so long. So I think it's going to be, I definitely think it's going to be a war in the trenches, yeah.
Please come up from Buffalo, New York, former middleweight contender, Mr. Henry Brim. And now, ladies and gentlemen, the WBA Junior Lightweight Champion, Rocky Lockridge. If he's in the audience, come on up and say hello. And in here in the ring from Kingston, New York, the World Boxing Council Junior Welterweight Champion, Mr. Billy Costello. WBC Junior Welterweight Champion. And now, ladies and gentlemen, the current World Boxing Council Junior Lightweight Champion. We all know the Macho Man from New York City, Hector Macho Camacho. And the former light heavyweight champion of the world, now a member of the New York State Athletic Commission. Ladies and gentlemen, now Commissioner Jose Torres, former light heavyweight champion of the world. And in the audience now, actually back in one of the dressing rooms, let's have a big hand for the former welterweight champion from Canastota, New York, Billy Backus, former welterweight champion of the world. And right here in the ring, former five-time world champion, the former welterweight and middleweight champion of the world, ladies and gentlemen, Emil Griffin. Five-time champion of the world. And now, ladies and gentlemen, a face you all know in the world of boxing. From Cincinnati, Ohio, he's the IBF Junior Welterweight Champion, the Hawk, Aaron Pryor. IBF Junior Welterweight Champion. And it's with great pleasure that I introduce this next man, as he is an undisputed champion of the world. From Brockton, Massachusetts, the undisputed middleweight champion of the world, the marvelous Marvin Hagler.
Mancini will probably make Bramble wait the appropriate time. The champion makes the challenger wait. So we may have a slight delay for Ray Mancini. And so Livingstone Bramble continues to wait.
You also should understand that, and you know that Ray's father fought, and there's a lot of Buffalo feeling for him. We'll get to that. Led by David Wolf, his manager, whom you see right there, and behind him, Irving Rudd, who needs no introduction anywhere. Here's Ray Mancini, who you can tell by the crowd what they think of him. Say a word right now as we look at Ray Mancini come into the ring. There he is.
No question about who this crowd likes in this fight. extent. And he has some history here, as his relatives have lived here, and this crowd, as we said, has taken him in.
The tall, gray-haired man is Paul Percyfield, who is his cut man. The shorter man is David Wolf, and the shaven-headed man is Murph Griffith, Emil Griffith's, there he is, Emil Griffith's uncle. And now let's go up to Mike Buffer.
Scotty from Cleveland, Ohio will sing our national anthem. Will everyone please rise?
Ladies and gentlemen, our national anthem.
Ready to rumble! This is it! 15 rounds for the WBA Lightweight Championship of the World. The referee from West Covina, California is Marty Denkin. And now introducing first in the blue corner, wearing gold, red, and green. He weighs 134.5 pounds. His record, 20 wins, 13 by knockout. Only 1 loss and 1 draw. Originally from the Virgin Islands, now fighting out of Passaic, New Jersey. The #1 challenger in the world. Ladies and gentlemen, Livingstone Pitbull Bramble. And now in the red corner, wearing green with red trim, weighing 135 pounds even. He has 29 victories in 30 fights with 23 knockouts and has defended his title 4 times, all by knockout victories. From Youngstown, Ohio, introducing the WBA lightweight champion of the world, Ray Boom Boom Mancini.
Mancini, obviously a very charismatic man. Let's get the instructions from referee Marty Denkin.
I gave you instructions in the dressing room. I'll give you the best I have, but you got to give me the best you have. I will enforce the rules. I'll hold you responsible, Lou. Griffith, I'll hold you responsible. Okay? Good luck. Let's do the best you can, gentlemen. I appreciate it. Go ahead, baby.
They go back to their corners. Mancini just above us. Bramble across the way, getting last-minute instructions from Lou Duva. The referee, Marty Denkin, in the middle of the ring. All right, we are ready. Round number 1. Mancini swinging widely, Bramble keeping his punches inside, Ray using the bob and weave style that was first popularized by the great Jack Dempsey.
Mancini already very close to Bramble. They are going to fight this on the inside. Bramble, some people wondered, would he box against Mancini, try and use the reach and jab and hit him with a straight right hand? Not doing that. He is right in the trenches with Mancini, and already a low blow by Ray Mancini.
And he gets a warning from the referee Marty Denkin. Mancini in the green trunks, Bramble in the gold trunks. 2 minutes remain in round number 1 out.
Both are good body punchers. That is certainly Mancini's stock in trade, and he will try and work the body. There he does with a left hook to Bramble.
You will have to watch closely with Bramble. He likes to counter with right hands. Mancini, who's a converted southpaw, has a tough right hand, and he's using it right now to advantage.
Some people believe Bramble has not faced the kind of pressure that Mancini will put on him. Certainly no one has been able to do that against him as well as Mancini will, and they wonder if Bramble can sustain under that pressure.
Wild right by Bramble, who so far has not indicated that he is in any way tied up by the moment.
Well, Mancini has landed good jabs, and Mancini has also shown good head movement, getting away from a lot of the jabs and straight rights from Bramble. That's good news for him in this first round. Now, this is where Mancini wants this fight, right here. He is landing good shots and doing a very good job avoiding Bramble, but a good left hook.
Yes, you're absolutely right. A good hook, left hook by Bramble, and again, big surprise. Bumpus in the first fight decided to slug it out, and apparently Bramble feels the same way. That is the Duva plan of the night. Take it to them.
Bramble's certainly less of a boxer than Bumpus, so it's not that surprising, but we did expect a little bit more lateral movement from Livingstone Bramble.
The referee now cautioning both fighters for using their heads. And there's a cut over Mancini's eye, and he's being led back to the corner.
It's a terrible cut.
This may be a great deal of pressure. The doctor, Armin Sinkata from Syracuse, is being asked to look at it, but he is not the last voice. The last voice is the referee, Marty Jenkins. Now, if he deems it, he's decided to let it go. Did he think it was a butt, or did he? Yes, he thought it was a butt, which is an important thing. All right, 25 seconds remain, and the most important man in Buffalo, New York right now is Paul Percyfield, who's got to stop the bleeding on the cut of Mancini. Mancini working hard because he knows he's in a difficult position. We will stay right here and go to the corner as Bramble has now decided to work from the left style. Mancini putting pressure on, and the bell ends round number 1. Let's go back to the corner and see what Paul Percyfield does. And now you take a close look and see exactly where the cut is.
It looks like it's on just off to the right side of the right eye. If it's off to the right side, of course, that will make it less of a problem. If it's right on the eyelid, then Ray Mancini has a tremendous... Oh, it's right on the eyelid. That is in about the worst place you can possibly have a cut. Now, the question is whether it was they ruled it an accidental butt or
we both
a deliberate
at the
butt.
same time.
If it's an accidental butt, Bill, it cannot end the fight. It would be a technical draw before the 3rd round.
Let me get Marty.
Let's take a look. There's where they clashed heads, I guess. It was initiated by both fighters, it appeared.
Marty, was it a butt? Was it a butt? Was it a butt? Yes, he says it was a butt. Now the question is, was it accidental? Mancini coming out. This is almost like the Sugar Ray Robinson fight with Randy Turpin, where Robinson cut desperately, had to come back and knock his man out.
Well, this certainly alters drastically the strategy of this fight. Mancini went all out toward the end of that last round to try and get Bramble out of there. And again, we wonder about the interpretation. If it's a butt, if he called it a deliberate butt, then a point would have been taken away. I don't think it was a deliberate butt. It was an accidental clash of heads. If it goes past the 3rd round and this fight is stopped because of that clash of heads, they should go to the scorecards.
They will, yes, to see who's ahead. Good left hook by Bramble.
Well, that is the one thing that the Mancini people were most concerned with. Bramble uses his head a little bit. That time it didn't look like an accident.
Good right uppercut. He's beating Mancini to the punch. Mancini's a little wild.
Mancini with an excellent left hook, and he's getting the jab in. This fight is a war.
Yes, it is.
Mancini desperate because of the cut, and so he has gone to war with Bramble, and Bramble willing to stay in there and trade punches. So far, he's been able to do it.
Mancini before tried to get in close. Now he's fighting him at long range and trying to use the right to the body to set up the left hook to the head. But he's got to stay away as Bramble opens up on him, and Mancini hit him again, and there's more blood from the eye of Ray Mancini.
Despite the cut, Mancini's doing an excellent job on the inside. Bramble landing his shots, but Mancini just a little quicker in most instances. Good uppercuts by Mancini. He's using that punch effectively. The jab of Mancini, a key weapon here. Most people didn't expect him to be able to use it against the taller Bramble, but Bramble's leaning in, making that punch effective.
Ray Mancini in the green trunks, Livingstone Bramble in the gold trunks, and Mancini is boxing him now, giving an indication of the kind of fighter he can be under these extreme circumstances where his eye was busted up in the 1st round.
Right by Bramble, but boy, Mancini can take a punch, and he showed it again there.
Ally I'm looking at his eye. I said before he was bleeding. I don't think he has. I think Percival stopped the bleeding. Mancini staying in and using the left hook. Took a tremendous left to the eye. 12, 11, 10 seconds remaining of round number 2. Mancini, this is a key round in deciding the verdict in the fight. Mention it again, Al.
Well, because if the fight should be stopped now because of the cut, an accidental cut, they would not be able to go to the scorecards. But after this round, they would be able to go to the scorecards to determine a winner if that cut would cause this fight to be stopped. That's what
because of the fact that it was a butt.
Right, although it was an accidental clash of heads.
Mancini going to work on him in close with a right to the body and the left hook. Bramble fighting him as a righty now.
One thing Bramble has done better in this fight than in previous fights is stay on balance. He's throwing his punches with good leverage, but Mancini, that left hook may have rocked Bramble.
Yes, it did. He might have been a little off balance, but Mancini is showing his tremendous tenacity, bulldog quality. But I tell you, Paul Percival did a good job in the eye. No bleeding.
Bramble has an excellent left hook. That's been his best weapon so far in this fight. Mancini's walked into a few. A lot of pressure from Ray, and this is what people wonder. Can Bramble, who has not fought the competition in Mancini, can he sustain under this pressure? Ray is certainly putting pressure on him.
Using the elbows, he may be the strongest physical lightweight that we've had in years. He's almost a throwback to Bob Montgomery, and he just stands on top of Bramble. Taking chances, though, because that right side is exposed and the right eye has been cut.
You know, a lot of those punches picked off by Bramble, but a lot are getting through also.
I don't get the impression that there's any hysteria in the Mancini corner because of the cut.
No, Murphy Griffith is telling him to do the right thing. He's saying, keep using your jab. That punch is setting things up, and it's landing against Bramble. There it is again. I think that's a plus. Mancini didn't expect that punch to be there.
If you've just joined us, we've already had an upset tonight. Johnny Bumpus was knocked out by Gene Hatcher. Mancini taking shots to the head to return shots, and this has been a war, in your words, Al.
Bramble switches to the southpaw style, and that may be to defend against that left hook. He lands a good straight left hand, Bramble does, from this posture.
And now Livingstone Bramble becomes a southpaw.
You know, Mancini had trouble with Orlando Romero, the last southpaw he faced last year. So that maybe Bramble looked at those tapes and decided this could work, and there's a good right hook. Bramble's been effective now from the southpaw stance. An interesting move by him, and it's worked.
We have about 23, 22, 21, 20 seconds remaining. We've had trouble with the timekeeper all night long, and that's why we say about. But the third round's about to end, and from here in, Mancini took a hard left uppercut. Got his right hand and took a right hand. Man in Mancini's corner. He's a very wealthy man who does this simply because he loves boxing. He may become the most important man in Ray Mancini's career.
And he has done a remarkable job on that cut, and so far kept him in the fight. Bramble has come out in this round as a right-hander, and I wonder why. Bill, he was so effective as a southpaw in that last round.
Well, again here, as we talked about in the Bumpus fight, Bramble obviously doesn't think this man can hurt him. So he goes either way, but he must know better.
Here's what being a lefty does to help Bramble. First of all, he can land his right hook better because it's closer to Mancini's head. Secondly, he makes Mancini's left jab less effective, and that was the punch that was really doing the damage and setting things up against Bramble.
As he's doing right now, but he took a right cross from Bramble. The sneak right by Bramble. He's got that quick right hand. It's very dangerous. Mancini going to the body was slowed up a little by a hard punch to the head.
Bramble is covering up much better here in this round, as he was toward the end of the third round.
Minute 45 remaining in round number 4. There is no bleeding from Mancini's eye, and to the best that I can see from here, the eye does not appear swollen. He can see out of it. Good right hand by Mancini. The yelling at Mancini from his corner. Underneath. You probably hear it the way we do.
They want him to work Bramble's body. Bramble's doing a pretty good job of covering up to the body, but Ray is getting in with that punch. The jab again of Mancini, I'll tell you, that's a very good weapon. He landed it against Chacon, as I said, a much shorter fighter, but doing well against Bramble. Excellent right by Mancini.
Good right, counter. As I mentioned to you before, Mancini uses his left hand. He's a lefty in everything but boxing and batting in baseball. He's a converted southpaw. And that right hand is very much underrated. He's in a war.
He is banging the body of Bramble with that right hand. You wonder what toll that will take later in the fight, if we get to later in the fight.
Bramble fighting back.
There is never an easy fight for Ray Mancini, and this one again, a very tough one.
Sports Night of Champions will continue after this message from your local station. We're ready for round number 5, and the one thing the referee, who's had tremendous pressure on him, he knows the Duva camp didn't want him. The one thing he does that may upset the Mancini corner is that he keeps going to Mancini's corner to look, and that gives him the idea he may have ideas of stopping the fight. He has no vote in the fight. Mike Gliena, Stan Berg, and Lou Moretta, the judges.
I think he just wants to be responsible to make sure he keeps looking at that eye. You know, Livingstone Bramble's the #1 rated contender by the WBA. Some people thought that was suspect. He's showing us tonight it's not suspect. He's an excellent fighter, and he is performing as well in this fight as he ever has as a pro.
So that the pressure has not gotten to him, but we're looking at a different Mancini. Mancini is boxing him now, using a stiff left jab, and then using the right hand over it. Apparently they've shown him the boxing.
Well, these are the skills that Ray has worked on continually, and in the last several years has improved on. He's still standing pretty erect and taking a few too many Bramble lefts and rights, but he's doing a good job with that jab. Now, there's Bramble countering over the jab with his right. That's what he wants to do.
That's Ray's best punch, in my opinion. That left hook to the body. That does more damage than almost any other punch. It sets up the other fighter for the rain of blows to the head. Jab, jab, and then the hook and the right. And Bramble's standing there as if he's loading up.
Well, he is, but Ray Mancini's doing the work. Oh, good right by Bramble. One of the things Bramble's doing better in this fight is, you know, he normally punches off balance and loses some power and leaves himself open. He's not doing that tonight.
To Bramble about using his elbows. Mancini coming on, warding him off with the elbows and coming at him.
Good body work again by Mancini. He's abandoned that a little bit.
Good left hook by Bramble. Tough fight.
Indeed, and both these fighters doing what they do and doing it extremely well. They're both fighting excellently.
Yelling at Ray Mancini are the people in this corner, use your stick, and they mean stick that jab out at it.
Mancini much busier than Bramble, and you would think that has got to have an impact on the judges. He's throwing 6 or 7 punches to every one for Bramble.
I know the reason you're mentioning it. If it's a technical stoppage, then of course it becomes a question of who's it. What a right uppercut by Bramble.
And Ray does not stop coming forward. The Mancini chin, it is excellent.
That time he avoided the right hand. Another hard punch by Bramble as we come to the end of round 5. Of Ray Mancini, Al, what is Lou Duva telling him?
Well, let's hear. Let's listen to Lou Duva give his instructions.
Whenever you want him to miss, just paint him a step back, half a step, he'll miss for you.
Come on, baby, come on. All right, come on, the knots now, all right, baby?
I don't know how much we picked up there, but I would think, as we take a look into the eyes of Livingstone Bramble, he's got to be thinking, this is a tough battle against Ray Mancini, and he's hit him with some great punches, not hurt Ray.
Round number 6. The cut has been stopped. That is, the bleeding of the cut has been stopped by Paul Percifield. But, of course, any good shot might open it up again. And then it becomes a question of what will Marty Denkin do. And today, tremendous pressure was put on him. And he knows it by the Duval corner. Now here's Mancini starting to load up to the body.
I think Denkin gave us an indication, though, that he is happy to rely on the doctor's opinion, because he did in the first round when the doctor said let the fight go. But that's the problem we'll worry about when it reopens. Right now, both these fighters are fighting well on the inside.
The doctor, incidentally, is a Syracusan named Armin Sincata, and he may have a lot to say in the determination of this fight. Mancini does not go up on his toes, but he's using the left jab to work off of, taking a left jab from Bramble, though.
You know, for the first time, Bramble is starting to use his jab. Really a surprise. He's got the reach and height advantage, and he's got a fairly good left jab, but the punch has been in mothballs until this round. Great body work by Mancini.
Are you of the opinion that a very thin-waisted fighter takes less of a shot to the body?
I think it depends on the fighter, the kind of shape they're in. And, there have been examples of fighters who did have a thin waist, obviously, and did take body shots well. But Mancini wants to test the middle of Bramble, and he wants to tire him out for later. Mancini's been a long distance in a number of his fights. Bramble, not so much.
Mancini scoring effectively both from the outside and the inside.
Bramble, in fact, has never been past 10 rounds. He's been that distance 3 times. Mancini has gone 10 rounds or more on 6 different occasions, so on 5 different occasions.
A minute remaining in this round. Mancini now trading with him. It's been a different kind of fight than you would expect from Mancini. You would expect him to come in as he is right now underneath, but they keep yelling at him from the corners. Circling his good right hand by Mancini.
Well, it's been a fight on the inside, but Mancini found out that from just a slightly longer distance away, he could land the jab in these combinations, so he's done it. He didn't have to be fighting right off the chest of Bramble, though he is right now.
And doing it effectively. He's got Bramble cornered, and he's using the body blows to set him up. Al, how do you have it scored through the first 6?
I've got Ray Mancini leading 59-56, and believe me, those rounds have been very close, so the judges may be seeing it differently. You know, Bill, back in round 3, Bramble turned to the southpaw stance, was very effective over about a minute-and-a-half period. He has never gone back to that, and I'm really wondering why.
Mancini now using his power, but Bramble got him with a right hand.
That was as solid a right as Bramble can throw, and Ray did not back off.
There's almost a tendency to say about Mancini that he's a little Rocky Marciano, except I never saw Marciano stand there and use the left jab as a weapon the way Mancini is.
Well, there's an indication of some of the skills Mancini has honed and improved on. But unfortunately, in this fight, he's showing they still need some work on defense. But then again, he's got a very quick and good puncher in front of him in Livingstone Bramble.
But right hand by Bramble, the corner yelling at Ray, because when he throws the right and he throws the left, he leads to it with his head. And he took a right hand there.
You know, oh, good right by Mancini. One of the wild cards here is all the body work Mancini has done. That could have a big impact on Bramble. Bramble has not done much body work at all against Mancini.
No, he's been the headhunter in this fight. We mentioned at the beginning of the fight that there is no love lost between the two. That's putting it mildly. Mancini hates it.
And there is Bramble turning to the southpaw stance, and immediately he lands a right hook. And that one may have stunned Ray. It took him about 4 rounds to get back to this style, but he's there.
Yes, he is. And it's confusing to Mancini, but when Mancini is in trouble, he just fights on and goes to the body. It's been an excellent fight. With a minute remaining in this, the 7th round of a scheduled 15-rounder. He hit him with a good right hand. Bramble takes a heck of a punch.
Sure does. Bramble again with the right hook. That's the punch that from the southpaw stance has worked fairly well for him.
want Mancini to move to his left to get outside that right foot of Bramble.
Oh, he hurt Mancini. He has Mancini in trouble. He has him in trouble.
There was the right hook again, and Bramble does not follow up on it. Why? They are waving to Bramble from his corner to move in, and he simply isn't doing it.
The same advice that you had for Bumpus, opponent Hatcher, you have for Mancini. He is moving right into that right hook. It's been a good round for Livingstone Bramble. We're coming to the end of the 7th round. Cat Sports Night of Champions will continue after this message from your local station. They're looking at Livingstone Bramble, who has given Ray Mancini everything he wants. He's got a different type of hairdo, and the Samson hairdo that Mancini wears is now mired down in wetness. His corner, obviously, telling him to stay away, and Bernstein, I can't believe it. He's gone back to fighting him righty again after having all the trouble.
Isn't that astonishing? Now, he is still landing punches, but I'll tell you, as a lefty, he was so much more effective. But he is getting, and there he is. He's now back to southpaw. They want Ray to move. He's not moving. He's standing and exchanging with Bramble, and he's paying for it. Ray's in trouble. He is getting hit with a lot of shots. They wondered, could Bramble sustain against the pressure of Mancini? Thus far, he's done it. He has taken a lot from Ray Mancini over the first 7 rounds, and he's still there, and he is hurting Ray.
I'm wondering right now again whether it's a matter of macho with Ray because he dislikes this man so much that he won't move.
I think that is a valid argument. That's conceivable. And maybe Ray is just too tired to box and move. He has exerted a lot of energy. He has thrown many punches over these first 7.5 rounds. He cannot deal with the southpaw stance of Bramble. It's what gave him trouble against Orlando Romero last September in Madison Square Garden. He was fortunate to win a close fight on a knockout in that instance.
Mancini now loading up, trying to do it with a punch and taking punishment in return.
He is very tired. I think Ray
has got to get a second breath. They're yelling at him from the corner, move. He may be on his way down. He's in trouble as he was against Arguello. Took a hard right.
The right hook as a southpaw for Bramble is landing almost every time he throws it. Ray cannot defend against that punch. His left is low.
They're screaming at Ray. Merv Griffith, Dave Wolf in his corner. Move, move, move. Mancini having difficulty, and Bramble knows it.
Ray Mancini pulled one out of his bag of tricks against Romero. Big left hook. Can he do it tonight against Bramble? He's awfully tired. He's getting hit a lot.
Yes, he is. Bramble shows no emotion. None.
People wondered about Bramble's toughness. Could he take the attack from Mancini? He has. He's been hit a lot in this fight. He keeps coming forward, does Livingstone Bramble.
This Cat Sports...
He may have hurt Bramble with a left hand.
Yes, he might have. He's moving in on him now. Oh, they are really hammering. Which one puts first? They've gone a long range again. It is a war of attrition.
Boy, people will remember round 8 of this fight for a long time.
About the fact that he had been cut, but here in the 7th round might have been the turning point, if there is one in the fight. Al?
Bramble hurt him with a right hook, wobbled Mancini, and that right hook as a southpaw was the punch that put Ray in trouble in the 7th, and of course in the 8th even more trouble, but Ray, as we look at him, did come back toward the end of that round and wobbled Livingstone Bramble. Boy, could you ask for more from a boxing match?
Cat Sports Night of Champions has turned into Cat Sports Night of Upsets.
Well, if indeed Livingstone Bramble can sustain this, I still have Mancini ahead 77-76, though I have given Bramble the last 2 rounds.
He's beating Mancini to the punch with a right hand. And they're telling him, use the left jab, use the left jab. But Ray wants to get in there and bang with him. And when he does, he's having difficulty.
Now, Bramble came out as a righty again. Let's see if he does what he did the last round. Changed to southpaw after about 30 or 40 seconds. If he doesn't, I'll be very surprised. There's the jab by Mancini. That punch has not been effective the last 2 or 3 rounds because Bramble has fought mostly as a southpaw.
Is this about the time he catches the second breath out?
Normally in his fights it is exactly the time. Just when you think he can't possibly do it. So that would fit in with tonight's script.
Oh, a left hook. Bramble is not supposed to be that great a puncher, but with less than 2 minutes left in this, the 9th round, he has shown good punching power.
He's got good power. He's not a devastating puncher, but he does have good power.
I believe Bramble is beginning to enjoy this fight.
Well, he mugged at Mancini toward the end of the last round. Jenkins trying to get in and warn Bramble about holding, and he just went in and threw a shot at Mancini, but a show of sportsmanship by both fighters, touching gloves. That is surprising.
Psychologically, what Bramble did before the fight, getting Mancini as angry as he did, may be effective for him because Mancini will not listen to his corner. Mancini said before the fight, he said Bramble doesn't listen to his corner, and yet now they're yelling to him, use your jab, and they're screaming, and he won't. He wants to stay in there and
Phil, I think part of that is the fatigue. He can't move. He's using the jab, but he can't move. Early in the fight, he was disciplined, so perhaps now some of that anger coming out, but I think it's more a question of fatigue on Mancini's part. He just can't move as well as he'd like to.
Coming up to 40 seconds left in this, the 9th round, scheduled for 15, and it has literally been a war. Oh, now he's back to fighting him righty, and that's where he does most of his damage.
As a left-hander, Bramble is doing the job on Mancini, as he has throughout most of the fight when he's fought from that posture.
And now it's Bramble who's the aggressor pursuing Mancini against the ropes.
There's a cut now on the left eye of Mancini.
Cut over the right, cover to the left eye, and we're coming up to the 10th round. Round number 10, and Mancini bounces out of his corner as if he's alive and well. How do you have it scored now, Al?
Dead even, 86-86, because I have given Bramble the last 3 rounds rather decisively, and so from my standpoint, this fight is dead even, but it's not really even because Bramble is the fresher of the two, and he is hurting Ray Mancini. So unless Ray does something dramatic, he's going to be in trouble in this fight, or unless the body work he did early to Bramble has some impact as this fight wears on.
And Bramble now has gone back to fighting him as a lefty, and what Ray is trying to answer with is that right, and that may be the wrong punch.
When we were down in Houston, I saw Bramble fight as a lefty a lot in the gym. I really didn't think he would use it this much in the fight, but it's turned out to be the wild card in this fight. It's the tactical move that I don't think Mancini expected, and it has produced some excellent results for Livingstone Bramble.
The punches he just threw, the left hooks to the body, are the best punches against a lefty fighter, and he's got to stick with that, and as you said, keep that right foot out. But there he's getting hit again.
Well, and the funny thing is the left hook to the body and the head is one of his best punches. One of the frustrating points is he's hit Bramble with some tremendous shots, but Livingstone Bramble just hasn't been effective. Once or twice he was wobbled. Good right by Mancini, but again, he can't hurt Bramble.
The other part about it that surprises me is how strong Bramble is physically. We talked that Mancini might be the strongest lightweight, and yet Bramble is pushing him around.
Mancini just landed 2 terrific shots, and it didn't even slow Bramble down. So Livingstone Bramble, a tremendous chin. No one's hurt him thus far in his career, and Mancini hasn't done it either. His only loss to Bramble at 8th round loss to Anthony Fletcher, and that fight he was not hurt.
The Anthony Fletcher that Al referred to as Frank the Animal Fletcher's brother.
You know, Ray is having a fairly good round here. He's taken some big shots, but he has landed some as well. But you can tell he just looks much more tired.
Yes, he does now. He surely does.
He's standing straight up because he's tired, and that's why he's taking a lot of those shots. You know, he can land the straight right against Bramble. He's done it in this round a lot when Bramble's in the southpaw stance, but Bill, it has no impact when Bramble just keeps coming.
I was going to say that I thought that Mancini had gotten his second win, but here at the end of round number 10, it does not look like it.
He he's landing, but it's having no impact. He might steal this round with a number of punches, but Bramble landing the more effective blow.
Oh, he got tagged with that right hook. Again.
He simply can't hurt Livingstone Bramble, and right now that's the story of this fight.
Night of Champions will continue after this message from your local station. I believe it was Jose Torres who first said that every fight is a matter of will. And so far, Bramble, in the last number of rounds, has imposed his will on Mancini. Now, Ray Mancini has been in this kind of situation before. Question is, can he do anything about it, Al?
The difference between this fight and others is that he is landing good shots to the head of Livingstone Bramble, and early he landed excellent punches to the body. It just isn't having any impact on Bramble, unless Bramble is doing a great job of disguising it, and Bramble is landing the harder shots. Now, the last round, a tough one to score in some respects because Mancini landed a lot of punches. I gave it to Bramble because I thought he landed a lot of punches and they were effective, but Mancini probably landed more. But again, the judges becoming key figures in this fight. How much of an early lead did they give to Mancini?
Those judges are Mike Liana Stanberg and Lou Moretta. The rounds begin almost the same. Mancini comes out, charges in, does all his work in a minute and a half, and then has to defend his life the last minute and a half.
That's a very good point, Bill. And at the beginning of every round, Bramble comes out right-handed. Mancini does fairly well, and then about a minute into the round, Bramble changes to the southpaw stance, and that's when he does his best work. See if it happens again. So far, and there it is, exactly well, a minute and a half into the round, he changed.
He loaded up and hit him with the right hand and did nothing and got hurt with the left hook.
And as soon as he changed to the southpaw stance, he landed a straight left and a right hook. And there's the right hook again by Livingstone Bramble.
You wonder why that would be such a tough punch for Mancini, except that he drops his left hand.
Because he is staying within range of that hook, he should be moving to his left and getting the left hook to the body and the head to keep Bramble busy. He's moving into that right hook.
It is Ray who grabs and holds at this juncture. Less than a minute remaining in round number 11, scheduled for 15 rounds for the WBA Lightweight Championship of the world. Ray Mancini's face is so well known in America, you hardly have to say who he is. And he is fighting Livingstone Bramble and having a terrible struggle. Bramble going to that southpaw stance, now goes back to the orthodox stance.
You can almost see that Ray's eyes light up when he goes back to righty. He feels he has a better shot that way. Ray's jab lands better when Bramble is a righty. He's landing it now. Ray is not busy on the inside, an indication he is tired.
There's Bramble doing exactly what we talked about, making the strong close. Let's take a look at some of the action in the ninth round. Al?
Well, Livingstone Bramble backed Mancini against the ropes through what else? A right hand from the southpaw stance, and it landed. That one not so much a hook, but a straight right hand. And that's been the punch that so far has been the nemesis of that man, Ray Mancini.
Oh, Percy Field working on the eye, standing directly behind us, praying that Mancini wins, is Hector Macho Camacho. And you wonder, since he's a lefty, how much trouble he would give Mancini. Ray comes out as he does in every round, charging at the start.
Camacho, of course, looking at what could potentially be a tremendous money fight against Mancini. Aaron Pryor is here also, and I tell you, somebody saw Camacho in the hotel, and they said, you like Mancini, huh? He said, I would like Mancini against anybody in the world, even a heavyweight, because I want that payday. But right now, it could be slipping away, although it's a very close fight.
Notice that Bramble has gone to the lefty stance a little earlier. This time, not with a minute and a half remaining in the round, but with 2:20 and more. And he hurts him every time with that right hook.
Can you imagine why he would fight any of this fight as a righty? It's hard for me even to fathom after he's found such success as a lefty.
Has Ray found his second win?
Well, he's punching a lot, but they're not having that much impact. And, of course, he is tired. But you know what you have to say about Bramble? We are into the latter stages of this fight, into the 12th round. And despite all the body work and the punches he's been hit with, he looks pretty fresh. He has never been this far, Livingstone Bramble. This is the farthest he has ever been in a fight.
Second fighter from the Virgin Islands to fight for World's Championship. The first, the great Emil Griffith, who is both the welterweight and middleweight champion of the world. Bramble trying to get on top of Ray. Ray trying to stay underneath him and close with him. And they're yelling, move, move, move. And it's such an unusual style for Ray, who likes working it under the bob and weave and going to the body. And here he's had to be the boxer against the man he supposedly could take out. Bramble back to the lefty again now.
What's ironic is that Ray has shown us a good jab in this fight, and he's shown us some good combination work. It just hasn't phased Bramble. You know, these rounds are pretty close. Even though Bramble's landing the big shots, Ray is landing a lot of punches.
Yes, he is, and he hurt Bramble a little bit with the left hook. The thing about Bramble is you can't tell. The face is totally impassive.
He has been stoic throughout this fight, Bramble has, and as you say, you just can't tell what is moving him, if anything. They want Ray outside. They don't want him fighting off Bramble's chest. That's where we thought he wanted to be.
Al, I tell you, I'm not sure I agree with him. I think he's better staying inside.
Staying away from it. That's possible.
I think he's better leaning his head on Bramble's chest and fighting from there. At long range, he's an easy prey for the right hook.
The jab, look at 3, 4 straight jabs. No impact on Bramble.
The crowd roaring, but Mancini missed 3 of those punches. It is a struggle. We're coming to the end of the 12th round. Number 13 of the scheduled 15-rounder. Referee Marty Decken wiping some of the Vaseline off the face of Bramble, as you can see. How do you have it scored out?
I have this fight dead even, 105 to 105. That may seem strange because of the rally that Bramble has put on, but remember, Mancini was very effective over the first 6 or 7 rounds. And again, that is quite unofficial.
Mancini now leaning back, and when he does, it makes him an easy prey for an overhand shot, which is what Bramble does. But Bramble in this round deciding to fight him as a righty.
Ray Mancini is not a one-punch knockout artist, but so many times in his career, the accumulation of punches has sent people down. He's hit Bramble with many good shots in this fight, and he has not been able to hurt Livingstone.
Stopped him with a left jab a little bit, then no. We've seen Mancini go to the 14th round and muster enough strength to score knockouts. This time, particularly coming off the easy fight against Bobby Chacon, this has just been a war.
Good right hand by Mancini. That was the first right hand he's thrown with conviction in about 4 rounds. Could be maybe he is getting some reserve here. Now he's doing a good job of slipping punches. That last right got in, however.
Hit him on the top of the head. He said before the fight tonight to you, I may not have the greatest skills in the world, but I have the heart. And that heart is being tested right now.
That's for sure. There's blood from the left eye and the right eye of Ray Mancini. The right eye is swollen, the left eye is cut, and he fights on.
Bramble picking his shots now. And Mancini holding on a little bit. Round number 13 of this one scheduled for 15 for the WBA Lightweight Championship. And Bramble has suddenly started to vary his attack. Working underneath, working overhand, and the corner keeps yelling at Ray. Move back, move back. Less than a minute remaining in the 13th round.
I don't think there's any way to give Livingstone Bramble too much credit for both his conditioning and his tenacity tonight. Many people doubted that he could go this long in a war with Mancini. He's never had to do anything like this ever in his career before, and he has done so and done it well.
It's amazing. You look at the face of Mancini, he looks like he's gone through a meat grinder. There is not a mark on Bramble's face.
And he's been hit often, Livingstone Bramble has.
Hit him with the right hand, didn't do anything with him. It's got to be discouraging to Mancini. 13 14th round coming to an end, and Mancini's legs go rubbery. That Sports Night of Champions will continue after this message from your local station. A very important moment in the 14th round. Ray was wobbled at the end of the 13th and took a circle route back to his corner. They know it. Both of them, Mancini and Bramble. 2 rounds left with a World's Championship, WBA Lightweight Championship on the line.
Like most boxing experts, if you will, I would have never suspected Livingstone Bramble to go this long at this pace and be fresh, but he is. You give him credit for it.
He's got Mancini in trouble. Has him in desperate trouble. Mancini on his bicycle looks ready to be taken. He looks the way he did against I.WBA. He may go down right now. Does he have the reserve? I am not sure. He is helpless, and the fight has been stopped, and Livingstone Bramble has won. Unbelievably, Livingstone Bramble, a 4-1 underdog, has taken the title away from Ray Mancini. You can see David Wolf saying, okay, to the referee. He knew you're on your way into the ring. Al Bernstein is on his way in to talk to Livingstone Bramble. The Cats Sports Night of Champions has become the Cats Sports Night of upsets. 2 world champions taken out. Johnny Bumpus and Ray Mancini in what has to go down as an upset. There are people who just would not believe that Livingstone Bramble can do it. But now Mancini is being looked at by the doctor to see if the eye is okay and to see if the pupils are enlarged to show any head injury. In the meantime, when we get a chance to Al Bernstein up there, ready to talk to Livingstone Bramble, who becomes the 2nd world's champion from the Virgin Islands. We are expecting Ray Mancini to be able to talk to Al Bernstein. Whether the discouragement of losing the fight will keep him from that, we don't know. But it's been a mixed bag for Lou Duva tonight. He lost a world's champion in Johnny Bumpus, and he gained a world's champion in Livingstone Bramble. Now, do we get the decision first? It's in the 14th round. The fight was stopped. Mancini did not take the count, but he looked exactly as he had against Alexis I.WBA. Out on his feet, ready to go, and the fight was stopped. A shocker. Mike, are you ready up there? Here is Mike Buffer with the decision of the fight.
Referee Marty Denkin stops the contest in the 14th round at 53 seconds. The winner by technical knockout and new WBA lightweight champion, Livingstone Bramble.
A stunned pro-Mancini crowd at the War Memorial Auditorium in Buffalo, New York, has seen Ray Mancini dethroned by Livingstone Bramble on this Cats Sports Night of Champions that, as I've said before, is the Cats Sports Night of Upsets. Al Bernstein, it's yours.
Livingstone Bramble here in the ring said, I told you. And not only do you get credit, you fought a tremendous fight, Livingstone. I am the champion. I was taking my time. I was pacing myself proper. I am not tired. I could go more rounds. I was pacing myself good. Ray was tired from about the 8th or 9th round from the body shot. But Ray is a very determined champion. He wasn't hitting hard, but he was throwing many punches. Now, you were also hit to the body early, but your conditioning in this fight was extraordinary. I gotta tell you, I was not getting hit in the body. I was getting hit on the elbow. That's what everybody thinks. But see, I have no body. I go like this. I have a 74-inch reach. That makes up for the protection for the body.
All right, we cannot see them. Here's the monitor. We will take a look, Livingstone, at the beginning of the end for Ray Mancini when you started him out in that final round and you were able to put him out. Talk to us about this.
Give me a kiss.
Okay, right here, I think Ray Mancini was pretty weak, so I keep the pressure on him. I saw him trying to grab me every time we get in close, so my trainer told me to push him off.
and we push him off. But the main thing was Tommy passed my trainer. He told me, Bramble, you've been boxing that way for all those years. Stay that way. Box that way.
Now, I thought the key in the fight was in the third round when you switched to southpaw. Why did you wait till the seventh to go back to that?
We wanted to break up his pattern. That's what it was. We wanted him to see that he wasn't going to do it, and then he did it. Then we told him to do it.
Come in.
Was that your plan all along? I saw you working southpaw in Houston, and you were very effective. Was that what you thought could work?
It's a matter of time.
First of all, let me say hi to my mother in the Virgin Islands. I didn't want her to come to see this fight because it's a very brutal sport. Mommy, Delver, Laverne, and all the rest of you, Portia, Sally, Sheldon, all my family, all my fans in the island, and Passaic, New Jersey, I love you all.
The last word to Lou Duva.
Well, let me tell you something. I got to give credit to...
Hey, wait a minute.
Johnny Bumpus right over here. Johnny went with him. Johnny helped him. Got to give credit to Tommy Parks.
All right, well, it's a little chaotic in the ring, as you can see. Johnny Bumpus is here. There were cynics. They said Livingstone Bramble might not be the best contender in the lightweight division. He proved it. Let's go back to ringside.
I will tell you, you are looking at a very downhearted Ray Mancini, but you can bet it that Aaron Pryor and Hector Macho Camacho are doing equal crying about the outcome of the fight. In the ring at the War Memorial Auditorium, where tonight 2 world's champions have been dethroned. Gene Hatcher stopped Johnny Bumpus for the Junior Welterweight Championship, and Ray Mancini, perhaps the most charismatic fighter in America, with Sugar Ray Leonard gone. Ray Mancini was stopped by Livingstone Bramble. Now you heard from Livingstone Bramble. We are trying to get Ray Mancini to talk with Al Bernstein. Al, you're a big guy, but where are you?
All right, I am in here with David Wolf. Ray Mancini obviously shaken and does not want to come on it right now, and we can understand that. David, I guess it turned out that Ray had tremendous heart. He was able to hit Bramble off and just couldn't hurt him enough.
First of all, it's not a matter of not being able to come on. The doctor has asked him to allow him to continue working on the cuts. That's
no, I understand.
He's all right.
Yeah, okay.
Tonight wasn't our night. He got cut a couple of times early. He was ahead on 2 scorecards. We knew we were winning the fight, but it just wasn't our night. We lost to a real good fighter. We want to get some rest, come back, and get a rematch with this guy and get our title back.
Were you surprised at the fact that Bramble could go so long at that pace? He'd never done that before.
No, we knew he was a good fighter. We knew this was going to be a very hard fight. The cuts presented a problem for us, but there are no excuses. This was Bramble's night tonight. He deserves all the credit in the world. Our night will come again.
Still an extraordinary performance by Mancini, even in losing.
The way he was hurt early and the way he fought back to take the lead is something that will make me love him forever.
He will be back, though.
If he wants to.
Okay. David Wolf, somewhat emotional in this ring, and it's been quite a night. Let's go back. Well, Bill, as you can see, chaotic here in the ring, but truly some emotion in the corner of Ray Mancini. It was a very difficult loss for him.
I must tell you, before we go to commercial, that is the first time I have ever seen a manager cry, not because he's losing a payday, but because of the hurt of his fighter. We will be back with more commentary in just a moment. And Mancini was above us. I said it looked exactly as it did that night against Arguello. The legs were suddenly gone, but the heart never went.
I think that was an apt analogy, Bill, because he didn't have any more to go with. He was hurt. He just couldn't go on. Interesting that Wolf said that he was ahead on 2 scorecards. Not too shocking because he did so well early in the fight, but he just was hurt too much in that 14th round.
We can look at the stoppage of the fight. The point that I wanted to make to you about this was, do you remember early, you made a telling point. He said he cannot hurt Livingstone Bramble, and he couldn't win it so long as he couldn't hurt it. The will of Livingstone Bramble, as you see him holding Mancini, who's a very strong fighter, until finally Marty Denkins stepped in and stopped the fight.
At an appropriate point, we might add, and that is exactly it. Livingstone Bramble was simply too strong, and the key strategic move was Bramble worked on fighting as a southpaw, and he made it work in this fight against Mancini tonight.
Did you think, and when we come back, I'd like you to answer it, that psychologically, getting cut as quickly as he did had any effect upon him? I want you to think about that. Talk about it when we come back. Boxing has all its maxims, and one of them is that it's a matter of style. In the first fight tonight, Johnny Bumpus, a southpaw, could not keep off a right-handed swinger by the name of Gene Hatcher, who took him out with a left hook. In the second fight, Livingstone Bramble, who is a natural right-handed fighter, converted to a lefty and beat a converted southpaw.
Right, it's interesting that both the fighters that wound up winning tonight, I think were behind on the scorecards, came back to win by a knockout. And in Hatcher's case, he was able to get in close to Bumpus, the boxer, and in Livingstone Bramble's case, he was able to walk through what Ray Mancini was able to hit him with, and in the final analysis, just was stronger.
Al, you've seen Bramble fight a lot more than I have, because you work on ESPN's fights all the time, and you've seen the guy fight. Has he ever impressed you before?
He's impressed me, but this is by far the best performance Livingstone Bramble has ever had. The fact that he was in this condition and was able to keep his balance and box so well is a surprise, I think, to most people in boxing, but he made it work, and he has a great performance and deserved the win.
I have to say something about our friend David Wolf, and when I say friend, a man that we know. We'll get back to him in a moment. Cat Sports Night of Champions will continue after this message from your local